Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Monday, March 7, 2022. Stand up for your country. So, I hope you read my column posted on BillO'Reilly.com called Defeating Putin. So, I'm not going to run it down for you tonight. I'd like you to read it slowly. I think it's an entertaining column, but it also has a strategy on how to break an evil man who's hurting thousands and thousands of people, actually millions of people. If you're forced from your home, I mean, that's a real injury to you and your family. But anyway, Defeating Putin is the name of the column, and the talking points memo this evening is Putin the Rich Guy. Okay, so let's run it down. He may be the richest man in the world, Vladimir Putin. And he made his money by shaking down oligarchs and business leaders in Russia. That means if you want to do business, all right, in Russia, that Putin has to get what they call in the mafia a taste, all right? You have to pay him for the privilege of doing business in Russia. So, according to some estimates, he has amassed a $200 billion plus fortune. All right. And that is the reason I was wrong in predicting that Putin would invade Ukraine. I said he would not because he has so much to lose himself. And he will lose. So anyway, let's run down where Putin's money is. Very instructive. The communists, they are kind of, but the Russian government pays him about $200,000 to be the head of the state. All right. He has 8 official residences. 8. So Biden has 2, the White House and Camp David. Putin has 8. Just that, and the Russian government picks it up. Okay. And then he's got all kinds of property outside of Russia. And he has his money stashed in a number of offshore tax havens, Monte Carlo, which is Monaco, where allegedly his mistress lives part of the time, and in the other part of the time she lives in Switzerland. And the rumor is he has 4 children, but nobody really knows. So Putin never talks about his private life. And if you're in Russia and you talk about Putin's private life, you may disappear very quickly. All right, so he has a $1 billion vacation home on the Black Sea. All right, it's called Putin's Palace. It's got a spa, movie theater, tea house, wine cellar, casino, pole dancing disco, helipad, hockey rink, a church. I guess you go there right after the pole dancing disco. Gold-plated johns, a swimming pool, a gym, and everything else you could possibly imagine. Now, is it really a $1 billion home? Probably not, but that's what they say. But it's, I think it's 100,000 square feet, something like that. He's got a yacht called the Graceful, and it's valued about $100 million now. Here's something fascinating. 2 weeks before Putin invaded Ukraine, he moved that yacht from Hamburg, Germany, to Russia. Now, Russia owns a slice of territory on the Baltic Sea called Kaliningrad. And that's where Putin's yacht is now, so nobody can seize it. As you may have heard, the oligarchs' yachts all over the world are being seized, taken away from them because of the sanctions. But Putin knew, so he moved this yacht on February 7th. Okay, he knew what he was going to do. And so his fortune is just incalculable. And it's all because he stole it. He extorted money. He didn't make it. He's a gangster. But the fact that Putin put everything at risk, all his personal wealth, his mobility, his reputation, everything, means that he is troubled, to say the least. That's an understatement. And that makes him more dangerous. So if he's willing to lose all of this and blow up his own country, which he is, that's a madman. For what? Okay. So Russia itself is now, as you heard, I'm sure, blocked Facebook and Twitter. They have passed a law. If you criticize the Ukraine invasion in Russia, that is a crime. Okay? You could get 3 years in prison. And that's if you are in the media. If you are on the street and protesting, they will put you in jail. And according to Reuters news service, I don't know how they would know this, but that's what they're reporting. 4,300 people, Russians, who demonstrated against the Ukraine action have been taken into custody. I can't verify that at all. I don't know how they get that. But you know what the deal is over there. So the Russian ruble has collapsed. The economy is collapsing. 2 more weeks of this, it'll probably be over for the Russian economy. And the big controversy is about, buying Russian oil and all of that. Okay, and we're going to get to that in the Biden section. The latest in Ukraine, 1.7 million people have fled the country, according to the UN, the largest exodus since World War II. 1.7 million. Now, they're going to a number of countries, but primarily Poland. So that means the West, EU, America, we're going to have to pay Poland to house and feed these people. And then, some are going to Romania, some Slovakia, all the countries that border Ukraine. This is according to UN as well. Civilian casualties, 400 killed, 800 hurt. 400 killed, 800 hurt, according to UN. And these are civilians. These aren't combatants. Hard to get combatant information because there are no reporters at the front. Ukraine is not a reliable source of reporting. Obviously, they're going to jack it up. So all in all, this is a disaster. Obviously, everybody in the world knows it's a disaster. Putin's got to go. I don't think you can keep him there. As I say in the column, you got to break him. Now, there are I still keep getting mail about bombing and no-fly zone, and just a simple equation. The world is not going to support a nuclear war against Russia over Ukraine. They're not. Okay? So Putin knows that. Now, if Putin invades NATO, a NATO country, then it gets very, very dicey. Then NATO would have to shoot back. All right, so joining us now from Hamburg, Germany, is Dr. Aaron Rhodes. He's a human rights advocate, senior fellow in the Common Sense Society. I wanted to get, Doctor, your view from Europe. There's low-level hysteria here because of the rising gas prices and the falling stock market in the USA. What's going on over there where you are?
Well, Bill, I'm an American citizen, and for me, Germany is sort of a pit stop. It's like a place to live, and I have my family here. So I'm really not such a good person to give a good gauge of German public opinion or political movement, but it seems to me that life is the same here. I don't notice any hysteria. There's no panic buying in grocery stores. There's what there is, however, which is interesting, is a major change of public opinion as regard Russia. The government has done a complete turnaround in their policies. They are realizing that energy dependence on Russia is a bad thing, and they're realizing that they have been underpaying their defense spending. They have now pledged to bring up their defense spending as part of NATO, and these are big changes, and they have occurred very quickly. And this is a very notable.
Would it be fair to say that Putin has united all of Europe against him, or are there dissenters?
Oh, sure, there are dissenters. You'll find small pro-Russian demonstrations in many European countries. But in general, people are outraged by this war, and I think they didn't believe such a war could happen. So it's kind of a wake-up call for a lot of European populations.
The shock of realizing that give peace a chance and the peace movement, the green movement to some extent, because the green movement is responsible for Europe's weakness. You know, it used to be, and I guess you know this, it used to be in Germany that they harvested a lot of natural gas on German soil. Well, the Greens knocked that out. So they have to buy natural gas from Putin. And so it looks like a lot of liberal tenets are falling by the wayside because of this aggression by Russia. Would I be wrong on that assessment?
No, I don't think so. But it's, you have to remember that prior to this invasion, a lot of the peace movement types were taking a very pro-Putin line. This was NATO's fault. This was America's fault. Aggression on the part of neoliberalism, and so on. I think there's a tendency to blame America first in a situation like this, and it's a kind of residual hangover from the past.
What about the media in Germany, where you are? Are they anti-Putin now? Like most of the media here is, not all of it, but most of the media in America is anti-Putin. Is it the same in Germany and the rest of Europe?
I think it's becoming much more anti-Putin, if you can call it that. And that's what I was mentioning before. There's been a very quick change, and now all the so-called the Putin verstehers, so-called the Putin understanders. This was a kind of tendency in German political thought to try to understand Putin and give him some credit. They're very quiet, and maybe they even deny that they once had those views.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad to hear all of what you're saying. Final question for you. You're a human rights advocate. And, you're going to be looking at 3 million refugees out of Ukraine at least before this is over. You're going to be looking at thousands of civilian deaths and, children brutalized for the rest of their lives. So I don't see it possible that Putin just goes back, even if he says, well, yeah, we'll have a ceasefire. I don't see if it's possible that he goes back to where he was. Do you?
No. And Putin is going to come under indictment from the International Criminal Court and maybe some other bodies. So
why would this guy do this if he's ruined his whole life, as I laid out, his whole, all the money he stole, he can't spend, can't float around on his yacht anywhere, they'll grab it. Why? I think the guy's a madman. What do you say?
I don't think he's a madman. I think he's living in a different mental universe than we are, and he interprets history differently than we do, and he sees the destiny of his country and his own personal destiny differently than we do.
Yeah, but he got to know how much trouble he's in. I mean, he's even threatening, now sanctions are an act of war and I got my nuke boys on it. He's got to know that he's toast. Last word.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope he is.
Okay, Doc. I appreciate it. Stay safe over there, Hamburg, Germany. Dr. Aaron Rhodes. Are you looking for your next investment? Bill O'Reilly here. There are 8 reasons to look at the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund. Stable monthly cash flow payouts with double-digit targeted bonus returns. They strategically develop in lower-risk, high-demand neighborhoods. Prime new construction is short on supply and high on demand. Diversification is safety from stock market risk. They have a short and long-term strategy for returns today and down the road. Specifically designed pandemic-hardened buildings. They are 15-year industry leaders with a proven track record. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines or want to diversify, please start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy, 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
All right, let's go to President Biden. He's got nothing on his schedule. I'm not going to give him any heat for that. I assume that he's working on a number of things here in the Ukraine situation. I have said that he hasn't screwed it up. I would have done pretty much what he has done on the sanctions. He's got to be careful about the Russian oil situation because part of the deal he made with countries like Italy and Germany is, look, we're not going to cut off all your fuel. Okay, we're going to still allow them to ship, them being the Russian oil companies, but you're going to have to get away from it. These deals are made that we don't hear about, but I know that in order to rally all of NATO and all of Europe, he had to say, we'll wean off the Russian oil rather than cut it cold, or he wouldn't have gotten the support. However, the screw up, the massive screw up that Biden did the first day he was in office by attacking the American oil companies and fossil fuel companies is, I don't even know the word, it's so bad. Just that alone, okay, means Joe Biden's not qualified to be president because he's weakened us so badly to fight Putin and to do sanctions. If Alaska were untapped, okay, unleashed, they could supply 30-40% of the world's oil needs, just Alaska. All right, but no, federal government shuts it down at every turn. Forget about the pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline. Forget about it's chump change. That's bringing Canadian fuel down. Alaska is really where our future is. But no, Biden is so dumb, and that's the only word for it, that he allowed the crazy culture warriors, the crazy climate change people to dictate American energy policy. How insane is this? Are you talking about a war crime? My God. There's no way alternative energy can fuel this country. Now, that's not to say you don't try to develop it. Of course you do. Let Elon Musk run wild with his electric vehicles. That's good. But you don't knock out the primary source of fuel for the American people, which is gasoline. You don't limit it now. You wait until the alternative technology is developed, which will be maybe in 15 years. And the stronger the alternative energy is, then you can bring down the gas, oil, and coal. But no, he had to be a virtue signaler. He had to be woke, Biden. And he has done so much harm to this country. And you're feeling it. I'm feeling it. He's got to go. All right, now, you can't move him out, but this November, it's got to be a historic landslide for the Republicans. Has to be. Or, and you can tell your liberal friends this, or any of the lefties watching me right now, or, okay, America is going to get hurt worse than we're hurt now. So it's going to be $5 a gallon by 4th of July. It's $4 now. That's what it's going to be. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe Biden. Okay, so let me give you some facts. First of all, the oil, the gas, all right, it's up 11% gallon of gas in a week, 45% year to year. When Trump left office, the average price of a gallon of gasoline was about $2.30 a gallon. Now it's $4. Putin's, that's part of it, but as everybody knows, it was just going up steadily since Biden took office without Putin's doing this. Okay? Food prices are up 21% year to year because the cost of fuel goes up, the transportation goes up, food goes up. So Americans are getting squeezed. It doesn't matter, Joe, how many jobs you're creating. The salaries can't keep up with your screw up. You, Joe Biden, did it, not Congress. You, by your executive orders. It's just really, you got to be honest about this. So, I don't know, when I talk to people, some of them know, some of them don't know. The people who don't pay attention, that's half the country, all right? They don't know anything. But they do know that they're paying more for everything they want. So maybe that'll focus them into the bigger picture. Maybe. So this rise in price, this inflation is going to doom Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, in my opinion. However, after the State of the Union last Tuesday, 6 days ago, there was a poll by NPR, PBS, bogus poll, 33% Democrat, 27 Republican, 38 independent, 6-point deficit. Do you approve or disapprove of the job Joe Biden is doing? Approve 47, disapprove 50. Bull. It's bull. It's just a crooked poll. And you're going to see his poll numbers, Biden's poll numbers, go back down into the 30s by, let's see, it's approaching St. Patrick's Day. I'd say by Mother's Day, Biden will be at historic lows. So this Putin thing's going to pass. It will. I don't think it's going to expand into a NATO shoot war. But again, I was wrong about Putin invading Ukraine, so keep that in mind, okay? But I don't think that this Putin thing's going to last that much longer. They'll have a ceasefire of some kind that will happen. Then the stock market will go back up, but it's very fragile, So don't do anything. I told you that last week, but be cautious, very cautious. But summing up, if the midterm elections don't go the Republicans' way this time, then the Republican Party is doomed. Has to. This is horrible. Joe Biden is a terrible president. I think he could be the worst in history. James Buchanan somewhere is rooting for that because he's the worst right now. Trudeau, he's in trouble up there because of the trucker COVID stuff. Nanos Research Poll, Nanos. How has the truckers' convoy protest influenced your opinion of Justin Trudeau? Improved it 20, worsened it 47, no impact 31. No impact, those are the Canadians who don't know. They're like the Americans. I don't know. I don't know how you say I don't know in French, but if you do, that's what I'm getting at here. So Trudeau, he could get called at any time by the House of Commons in Ottawa. If I were against Trudeau, I'd be kind of wanting that to happen. As you may know, inflation is out of control thanks to the policies of this administration. Retirement accounts are especially vulnerable now. When inflation goes up, your savings goes down. Protect your hard-earned wealth against inflation. Please call the people I trust at American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. They are the highest-rated firm in the country with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Takes just a short phone call, and they will deliver physical gold and silver right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Plus, tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. So please don't wait. Call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text Bill to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text Bill to 65532. All right, here's the final thought of the day. It's a quick one. Joy Behar fell down last week. Go.
chairs move, you
These
touch
chairs
it,
are
and
terrible.
you're on the ground.
It's happened to all of us at one time or
25
another.
years, that has never happened.
All right, I have to say, when I saw Joy's butt hit the floor, I was kind of a little happy. Not good. Not good, not good. And then I went, oh, O'Reilly, come on. You're an Irish American. We don't do that. Somebody falls down, gets embarrassed, we don't celebrate that. Even if we don't like them, and I don't like her at all. But I'm not happy she fell down. All right? I'm just not going to go into those precincts. I'm not going to do it. We are so glad you watched us and listened to us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in America. I am an AMAC member, and you should be too. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful takes on today's news, and a magazine full of uncensored content that you will not find anywhere else. Most importantly, AMAC is working tirelessly to preserve the freedoms enshrined and secured by our Constitution. AMAC has become one of the most impactful organizations in America because more than just talk, AMAC gets things done. They are pushing back against the efforts to defund our police, weaken the borders, and replace your freedom with government control. But they need your help. Stand with me and more than 2 million patriots and join AMAC today at amac.us. That's AMAC.us. amac.us, and tell them O'Reilly sent you.
Bill O'Reilly is back on TV and only on The First. No Spin News, every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on The First.